Into the Massena zone, Josh Taylor. He dumps it side of the net. Meacham stops it and leaves it. And around the boards it goes to Mankies. Mankies flips it along the boards to Robidoux. Robidoux bangs at it, moves it out ahead to Matt Jobe. Jobe gets tied up right at the red line. Has it poke checked away back inside Massena territory. David Park after it. He gathers it in. Is upended on the play. The puck, he gets back up again. Is tied up behind the net by Cook. It squirts free, bounces around, and goes into the corner where Matt Jobe is waiting for it, picks it up. Here's Jobe, skates it ahead, and moves it out to center ice. His head man past Morris, flips it out. Apparently got it out of the zone. Jobe tried to keep it in, but it came out to center ice, and we'll have an offsides and a face-off and some line changes here.
And we mentioned size differential, Jerry. That first unit that Potsdam started, they go 5'6", 5'9", 5'8" across the board up front. The Raiders counter that was 6'2", 6'1", and 5'10".
Oh, boy. And solids of all three. Off the face-off, Angstrom goes by one, has it swept away, and the puck bounces out to center ice. Smith dumps it right back in. Raiders have to get onside. They're still not onside. Finally they do. Potsdam controls. Angstrom tries to come in, works the puck free to Rochford. He slips it in the corner, knocked away from him. They battle for it. Here's Angstrom in behind the net. Angstrom into the corner, right side of the goalie. Goes wide, then dumps it in behind for Michaud. He hits the side of the net, and it's picked up by the Potsdam D in behind. They move it around the horn, and the Raiders still forechecking in there. That's Angstrom. Now Rochford throws a check. It scores free. Michaud fanned on the shot, and the puck poke checked out to center ice. Steve Smith, he'll drop it back. Angstrom out by the Massena blue line. Tad gathers it in, goes to Smith. Smith looks up ice. His head man right on the stick of Rochford, takes it across, has it knocked away, and is clear to the blue line, kept in by Smith. Raiders look to move out anyway as they're making a line change. Potsdam back the other way. Williams, his shot, and that's deflected by Adam Wood, and Meacham grabs it with a glove. Raiders look to move it ahead. Not out of the zone, kept in there, bouncing puck in the slot, and it was carried in there by the forward Chris Bennett. He kind of caught in his equipment. Otherwise, they would have had a good break.
Well, the Raider forward on that left side trying to come diagonal through his defensive zone, through one through the middle, and you mentioned Chris Bennett intercepted it, got caught up in his equipment, but a step away from being in free on goaltender Matt Meacham.
Travis Evans against Robbie Whitcup now. The Whitcup line out there. Whitcup out there along with Matt Brown. Off the face-off, puck comes into the Potsdam line. Picked up there on the Potsdam defense by Zern. He flips it ahead on the wing. It goes to Evans. Evans takes it across, dumps it. Horan is there. He's knocked off the puck. The bouncing puck cleared to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Kept in at the point by the Stoners. Still in the zone. Stan Stoners trying to move it around the horn. That's Chris Bennett. Bennett back to the blue line. They battle for it there. It squirts in the corner. Francia bangs it out to center ice, and it trickles back to the Potsdam line. Picked up there by McCluskey. McCluskey dumps it to the Massena line. Bennett battles for it there. He's probably the biggest player on this Potsdam team.
Yeah, he's 6'1" and 185, and he is the biggest player for the Stoners.
Raiders try to move it out of the zone. Horan kind of lost it off the end of his stick, but Ian Francia is there to just lift it on the backhand back to the red line. Picked up there by Potsdam's Nick Zern, who dumps it right back in Massena territory. Raiders go back in after it, look to move it around, and it comes to Whitcup, who just dumps it down the ice, and that'll be icing against the Raiders, so kind of a slow start for both clubs.
Mentioned Chris Bennett picked up a couple goals the other night against the Norwood Northport Flyers as the Sandstoners had their way with a 10-0 victory, but it was fairly close at the end of two. I think it was 3-0 and at the end of two, and finally broke it open with 7 goals. Scotty Butler had the hat trick against the Flyers.
They had, I think, 6 goals in the last 3 minutes in that hockey game. It was 1-0 at the end of the first period. Face-off in the Massena zone after the icing. Raiders clear to the blue line. Morris's shot goes off a stick. Park picks it up, bangs it out to center ice. Here comes Mankies down the left wing side. Mankies gets by one. The puck squirts in front. Jobe, and he fanned as he had a good opportunity there as Dangerman just flipped it ahead and right on the stick of Jobe. Now the puck dumped back down the ice by the Stoners. Carroll after it. He flips it around the boards. It'll go back to the point. Mike Morris picks it up. His shot deflected. Comes bouncing out to the blue line. Here's a shot by Brown. Is blocked and bounces out to center ice. Morris dumps it right back in Massena territory where David Park picks it up. Here's Park with it. Looks on the wing to Mankies. Mankies to Robidoux. Here comes Robidoux right down the middle. Matt takes it wide. Now takes it wide. Gets by one in the corner. He and Morris go together. Trying to flip it to Jobe in front in the slot. Goes back to Carroll. His shot is blocked. Goes into the corner. Robidoux dumps it back in the corner again. Matt Jobe after it. Jobe gets tied up by Cam Brown. The puck bounces free. Here's Menkes after it along the boards. Coming back to tie him up is Adam Cook. There's bodies flying around in the corner. Finally, the puck cleared around the other way, and racing in is Adam Wood. Wood flips it in behind the net for Menkes. Here's Menkes circling. Back to the point. Comes to Smith. His backhander knocked down. Robidoux couldn't get a stick on it. Apparently he did. And the Raiders touch the puck, and he'll be called for controlling with a high stick. Didn't look like he got it, but apparently he did.
Well, he told the referee did because he didn't play the puck, Jerry. If he would have played the puck, maybe it was a question. But referee George Dobbins and Matt Robidoux did a smart thing. He waited. He thought the Potsdam player would touch it, then he'd take it from him. But the Potsdam player fanned on it, and then I think Matt Jobe came along and touched the puck.
So the faceoff moves back in the Massena zone. Angstrom out to take the draw. He wins it to Wood in behind, who rips it around the boards for Michaud. He'll drop it back in behind the net. Picked up by Marcus Kelleher, centering pass. Rochford intercepts and dumps it out to center ice. Stoners move it. Rochford steps by a check. Here comes Paul Rochford with it. He'll just backhand it deep in Potsdam territory. Goes in behind the net where it's stopped by Dangermond. He leaves it for his defenseman. Clears it around. Wood whacks at it. It deflects off a stick into the middle of the ice, and the Stoners move it back out to center ice. Rochford right there to pick it up, take it across. Feeds Angstrom, knocked away. Rochford follows. Here's Paul Rochford with it. Dumps it right in front, comes back to Smith at the point. He just dumps it into the open corner. After it there is Angstrom. Circles. He's got some room. Here's Angstrom. High slot. Goes to Rochford. Jumped over his stick. Rochford in the corner to Angstrom. Angstrom has a jump off his stick, and the Stoners pick it up and move it out. That's Scott Butler. Here's Butler with it. Makes a move right by the Massena defenseman. Butler's got a man in front. Right across the goal mouth. Couldn't get it to him, though, as the other defenseman came back and covered up. Now the puck along the boards, and we're going to have our first penalty of the game. And it's going to be elbowing against Massena, I believe.
Stevie Smith is going to get the call to the sin bin. Stevie's been there a few times this year, Jerry, just checking down, taking a look at how many minor penalties. This is his 13th minor penalty, so he knows his way to the sin bin rather well.
But that's not too bad when you consider the number of games they've played.
Not at all. And especially the type of hockey he plays, good, solid, hard hitting. He is probably the premier thumper on the blue line for the Massena Red Raiders, and he's handing out a lot of them. And if you only pick up 13 minors, and this is what this is their 20th game, excellent job.
It's might have been a little bit of a frustration call too, because he's the guy that Butler victimized on the way down on the right side. Off the face-off, puck just sits in there. Finally, Menkes dumps it out to center ice on the backhand, and back after it is Michael Morris. Morris into his own zone. Almost has it knocked away. Has a battle for it there. Robidoux bothering him. It comes out to center ice. Park will drop it back to Carroll, who bangs it down the ice. Mike Morris, little bit of a problem with it. Almost gave it up to Robidoux, and that's a guy you really don't want to give it up to in your own zone. Stoners look to move it ahead. Out to center ice comes to Adam Cook. Cook picks it up at the Massena blue line, takes it across. Here's Cook centering pass. They move it right in front of the net, and Meacham gets a big stick on it. Menkes comes after it and moves it out to center ice on a good play. 50 seconds left in the man advantage. Back in the zone it comes. Here comes Potsdam's shot right across the goal mouth as Taylor tried to center it. Goes back to the point. Kept in by the Stoners and out to center ice as the defenseman. That was Charlebois. Tried to drop it to Morris, and it was out to center ice. Morris dumps it across. Robidoux picks it up and dumps it down the ice, and that'll trickle right in on Dangermond with 30 seconds remaining in the man advantage for Potsdam.
Two great defensive plays by David Park in his own end as he just covered up the man in front.
Okay, the puck inside Massena zone. Potsdam setting up in behind the net. They got a man in front. The shot, and Meacham makes the save. Yeah, that's Scott Butler. He's been a thorn in Massena's side. 10 seconds left in the power play. Back to the point. They got the man in front. The shot is blocked. It sits in the slot. Picked up by the Stoners. Back to Morris at the point. His shot deflected wide and goes into the corner. Morris made a good play that time. Puck clear to the blue line, not out of the zone. The penalty is elapsed. Raiders are back to full strength. Steve Smith has it knocked away. Puck goes to the side of the net. Potsdam just making some moves in the corner, and Smith takes his man, and the puck comes free, and the Raiders will move it. That's Horan. Horan, headman. Angstrom, he just deflects it into the zone. Racing after it there is Converse. He goes after it along with a Potsdam defenseman. The puck bounces free, picked up by the Stoners. That's Marcus Kelleher. Long, rink-wide pass on the other side. Potsdam moves. That's Butler again. Makes a nice move. He's got a man breaking, but Francie is there to knock it down. Here's a shot, side of the net. Meacham comes out of the net to cover and lost it, but the Raiders control it in the corner. Now it's knocked away again. Puck bounces free. to the side of the net. And where is it? In behind. And there's bodies flying all over, and the Sandstoners are going to pick up a penalty as Nathan Whitcup got tripped up behind the net. So now Massena will go on the power play. Scott Butler again almost got one.
Oh, I guess so. And Scott Butler, he is an evasive hockey player, not very big, but he is shifty and quick. It's going to be Richard Murphy getting the gate for the Stoners, Jerry, on tripping as he was. That line had the Raiders bottled up in their own end. Didn't get a lot of shots off, but they had Massena kind of discombobulated in there.
What Butler does is he shows Massena the puck and then takes it back, and they go after the puck. And here come the Raiders on the power play. Down the ice it goes, and that's going to be an icing call against Massena. Tad just didn't wait quite long enough. Normally that's not one they call, but they did call that one.
They say play the man, not the puck. And Scott Butler, definitely you want to play the man.
Oh, yeah.
No matter where he is, you make sure if he goes to the bench that you play him there because he is shifty. And he's the main offensive weapon that the Sandstoners have.
7:08 left on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard. It's scoreless. Off the faceoff, David Park with it. Takes it behind his net. Here's Park. He'll start it out himself. Looks for Robidoux. Rink-wide pass goes to Matt. Matt takes it in right down the middle and goes wide. He gets upended. That was a big trip, but they're not going to call it apparently. Hard to believe. And the puck cleared to the blue line, kept in by Park. He goes to Robidoux. Robidoux back to the other point. Carroll back to Robidoux, right back to Carroll. Raiders, now Carroll fakes a shot. Robidoux trying to go across the ice. Angstrom's shot knocked away, comes back to the blue line. Carroll winds up his drive, and it's gloved and goes wide as Dangerman had it in the glove and lost it. Puck comes back to Park at the point. Park pinches in, throws a check, and loses the puck. Raiders break back the other way. It'll come to the Massena line. Robidoux back to pick it up and flip it out to center ice. Dumped right back in with 30 seconds left in the man advantage. Here comes Brian Carroll with it. Head man to Robidoux. Matt takes it across wide right side, takes it in the zone. Robidoux rips it around the boards to Carroll. Carroll out by the point. He'll go to Park. Park has it knocked away. They waited too long with it or else didn't see the forechecker coming. Josh War. Now the Raiders take it across again. Mankeys right down the middle trying to slide his way through. It's knocked away and dumped down the ice. And the Raider power play looks like it's going to go for naught here, Coach.
Yeah, they certainly don't look sharp here in this first opportunity.
In this first period, per se. Now the puck bounces free back to the blue line and trickles out to center ice. Dumped in by Potsdam.
I wrote myself a little note, Jerry. Too cute on that power play. They're waiting for the perfect play.
That's right. Here come the Raiders. Back the other way. Stolen away. Back across the blue line. Right back out to center ice. Picked up there by Butler. Here's Butler. Goes by one. Butler gets a weak shot off, and Meacham is going to cover it up and hold on for the face-off.
We're down to 5:18 left in this first period in this very, very important hockey game for both these clubs. Massena trying to gain that #1 seed, and the Sandstoners hoping to inch their way up into a second or even a third spot. They want to stay out of that bottom slot if they can.
Off the faceoff, puck sits side of the net, picked up. Here's a weak shot, doesn't get through. Raiders clear to the blue line, not out of the zone. The puck bounces in front and is cleared out to center ice by Massena. Now it trickles back in the Potsdam zone. Back after it is Zern. Zern takes it in behind his net, then flips it in the corner. Nice job. Potsdam bangs it, but not out of the zone. Whitcup, well, he kept it in momentarily. Now it's out to center ice. He'll have to come back for it. Robbie Whitcup with it at the red line. He'll dump it back in Potsdam territory. Stopped by Dangerman in behind. Leaves it for his defenseman. That's McCluskey. Puck around the boards. Wood pinches in. Can he keep it in the zone? He does momentarily. Now it's banged out to center ice. Whitcup is there. That's Robbie. Flipping ahead to Nathan. Nathan gets knocked off the puck. The Stoners clear it, and it bounces into the Massena zone just across the blue line. Smith picks it up and flips it right back out again. Long head man. Robbie Whitcup. Nathan Whitcup, rather. Trying to barge his way through. Robbie in there battling for it. Nathan has it poke checked away. Puck goes around the boards and is picked up there by James Williams. Williams in behind his own net now. Looks. Sees the Massena forecheck drop off as they make a line change and moves it out to center ice. Here comes Potsdam. Timmy Bunstone shot right on. Meacham makes the save as he kind of split the defense and got the quick snapshot off, and Meacham had to be quick.
I tell you, Jerry, Raiders are going to be in for a long evening if they're not going to forecheck any better than what they've been doing out there, allowing Potsdam to come uncontested. Nice little soft pass to Timmy Bunstone, who took that in full flight. He's going to give you fits all night long if you give him that much ice out there.
Off the face-off, puck in the Massena zone. Ian Francia with it. Francia picks it up and starts out. Trying to bounce it ahead, has to get it back again from Michaud as it took a funny bounce. Comes around to the blue line and out to center ice. Back in the zone, Francia. Francia runs into some traffic, flips it ahead, doesn't clear the zone, and it bounces in the corner. We have a whistle. And somebody got a hand pass, and he'll move the face-off outside the zone. 3:43 left in the first period. No score on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard.
We mentioned the importance of this game. Massena tied for first place with a 5-3-1 record, 11 points with OFA, but played one less game than OFA. Potsdam with a 4-5-1, 9 points, holding down that 4 slot.
Off the face-off. Puck goes to the red line. There it's dumped into the Massena zone by Cameron Brown. Stopped behind the net by Meacham. Francia will flip it around for Paul Rochefort. Rochefort gets tied up, has to come back after it, circles around again, looks up. This time he'll flip it out to center ice and is picked up by Cameron Brown. Brown's pass knocked down by Michaud. He gets it back again to the blue line and out to center ice. Francia's there, flips it ahead for Angstrom, knocked away from him, picked up again by Michaud. He dumps it deep. Inside Potsdam zone, stops side of the net, Brown after it. He gets tied up and then comes away with it. Cameron Brown looks for the wing and clears it down the ice, and it's going to trickle right in on Meacham, and he'll have to steer it into the corner for Horan. Horan flips it ahead. Angstrom takes it in behind the net. Tad Angstrom with it. Around the boards it goes to Rochefort. Rochefort steps by the check, takes it out to center ice. Here's Rochefort, and he'll dump, and the Raiders will make another line change here as the puck goes into the corner. Stoners pick it up. Raiders look to forecheck that Robidoux line. Can't keep the puck in the zone, though. It comes back out to center ice. Park with it. He turns around right at the blue line, goes to Robidoux. Robidoux steps by the check. Here comes Robidoux across the blue line. He's got Mankies, does the move. He knocks down a couple of players, but the puck got away from him. Back by the blue line. Park takes a whack at it. Bounced off a couple of players. Goes to Job in the corner. Tries to flip it back to the blue line. Kept in by Carroll nicely. Carroll will dump it to Job. Job in behind the net. Steps by the check. Matt Job, he's got some room. Goes back to Carroll at the point. Carroll gathers it in, takes it into the corner, gets by one check, gets a shot off. He gets knocked down, gets back up again. The puck bounces in the slot. They battle for it there. Mankies comes up with it. Here's Mankies. Has it knocked away to Robidoux. Robidoux out by the blue line, can't keep it in the zone. Here's Robidoux. Lost his edge, goes to Job. Job can't come up with it. Poke check to the Massena line where it's picked up by Brian Carroll. Carroll goes over to Smith, gets it right back again. Brian Carroll looking up ice, off the glass, knocked down by the high stick. And Job will get called for it, and the face-off will move back in the Massena zone with 1:41 left in the first period. Still no score on the Evergreen Memorial scoreboard.
Jerry, the Raiders have been averaging 31 shots per game on the opposition. Up to this point, unofficially, we've got 1:41 left in the first period. They have 2 shots on goal, and they've had a power play in there too. So that tells you a little bit about their offensive thrust here in this first period. They just can't seem to get on the same page with each other.
Lackadaisical would be a good word, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It seems that they're just kind of too cute, lackadaisical, whatever. I can't find the adjective to describe it out there. Maybe they're just trying too hard. I don't know. But
maybe Potsdam is just playing that slow down, take it easy game.
Can't take anything away from the Stoners. They've had the edge in territorial play in this first period.
Yes, they have. Face off in the Massena zone after the controlling with a high stick. Potsdam, here's Bunstone, backhander, save made Meacham. He doesn't know where the puck is. It goes into the corner. And we've got a whistle as the net got knocked off, and a good opportunity for Potsdam. Best chance of the game. Josh Taylor right on the doorstep.
Josh Taylor and Timmy Bunstone coming off the boards on his backhander and got a wicked shot away from about 20 feet out through traffic, and somehow that Meacham was able to get a glove on it, and then just after that Taylor had a good scoring opportunity.
Off the face-off, puck in the corner. Whitcup in behind, that's Robbie with it. He gets knocked down. The puck's underneath him in behind the net. Smith is in there as well. And Adam Cook, and they tie it up and hold on for the face-off. And we're down to 1:24 left in the first period. And on the scoreboard, it's Potsdam and Massena, no score.
Big tournament this weekend. We'll talk more about it later.
Face-off in the Massena zone. Puck sits in the circle. Here's a backhander. Robbie Whitcup trying to move it to the blue line. Can't clear the zone, but his follow-up not out of the zone by Smith. Bounces in front. They got a man. Here's the shot. And the save made by Meacham. Puck around the boards, comes back to the point. Another shot gets through somehow. And they bounce at it, and Meacham's going to dive out and cover it up. And again, the Raiders having trouble clearing their zone. They're going to make a line change here with 1:03 left in the period.
And I'm looking down, and it just, here's Stevie Smith, one of the big, tough Raiders on there. He's well over 6 feet, 195, and he's just getting moved out of there by number 4, Timmy Bunstone. And Timmy Bunstone is about 5'6", 155. So Potsdam, not only the territorial edge, they're a little testier, a little feistier than Massena this early going.
Face off right side in the Massena zone. Off the draw, Engstrom moves it ahead and out to center ice. Tad trying to drop it through into the zone, intercepted there. Bounces back, stolen by Michaud. Michaud flips to Engstrom in the corner. Engstrom gets knocked down. The puck ripped around the boards to the blue line and out to center ice. Francia dumps it right back in the zone. Mike Morris with it on the wing, doesn't clear. Here's Engstrom, dipsy doodles by 1. Centering pass in front, and the bouncer, nobody could get a stick on it. Good opportunity. Morris leading the attack the other way. Here's Morris right across the blue line, swept away nicely by Francia. In the corner, Engstrom. Engstrom looking. Steps by 1. Moves it ahead, bangs it out to center ice. It's deflected back inside Potsdam territory. Dangerman will clear it high in the air and into the bench. And we'll have a face-off inside Potsdam territory with 13 seconds left in the man advantage, or in the period, I should say.
And I'm not sure if he's going to give a penalty for delay of the game to Pete Dangerman. We'll wait and see. Official George Dobbins coming towards the...
They're asking, Massena's asking for it, and technically it can be, but very seldom do you see him call
Well, I thought he had called it the way he came, the way he pointed, and he's going to telling Coach Joe Stark, I want a player right now because that's delay of the game. He's already made the call. He's made up his mind.
Yeah. So it is going to be a penalty against Potsdam. That's one... That was pretty flagrant, though, when you looked at it.
Well, I don't know. 13 seconds, I think young Mr. Dangerman just wanted to get the puck out of the zone, but he just got a little too much of it on the blade. Just prior to that, great defensive move by a guy who's playing under duress out there, Ian Francia. He got injured in that game last Friday night with that collarbone again, and he made a nice play defensive move on Michael Morris down to our left.
Stayed with him, in other words. Here's the face-off. Here's Robidoux, cranks it up and fired it wide. 10 seconds left. Potsdam doesn't clear. Park flips it in the corner. Mankey's had to jump over his stick. With 3 seconds left, the Stoners move it out, and that'll take care of the period. So you got to give that one to Potsdam, even though they didn't score. The Raiders didn't either and didn't do much of anything. So
it's killing at 900. Outstanding.
Robidoux off the face-off, wins the draw, goes to Engstrom, and he'll dump it deep. Potsdam territory, stopped by Dangerman, leaves it for Mike Morris. Morris stick handles, moves it right in front of his own net, lost it, got it back again. Oh boy. Moves it to the blue line. Park keeps it in momentarily, goes to Robidoux. Robidoux circles out by the blue line. He'll go to Park. David winds up, fakes a shot, goes to Brian Carroll. Carroll, Robidoux in the slot. Robidoux steps by the check, looks to center, and it goes right to Dangerman off the skate, I believe, of Engstrom, and he'll cover up for the face-off.
When Michael gets back to the bench, I'm sure Coach Joe Stark's going to have a few things to say. And when he gets home having a post-game snack with his dad tonight, I'm sure Market's going to have a couple of things to say about being adventurous in your own end when you're killing a penalty. And turned it over, and then he finally recovered, and then he went to get it out of there, and he cleared it right back to Big David Park at the point.
Engstrom will take the draw for Massena. Off the face-off. We had somebody move on the face-off, and otherwise Massena would have won that clean. But who was that? That was James Williams, who moved before the puck was dropped, and they blew the whistle immediately.
Mentioned the officials for tonight's game out of Ogdensburg, Wayne Humel, and out of Alexandria Bay, George Dobbins, who's going to do the honor of dropping the puck.
Engstrom will face off again against Timmy Bunstone. Off the draw. Engstrom wins it back to Carroll. Engstrom doesn't lose too many. Goes to Robidoux. Robidoux has it poke checked away out to center ice. And David Park will have to come back in his own end and pick it up. Adam Cook out there along with Bunstone forechecking on this penalty kill. Park flips it ahead to Robidoux, and Robidoux starts it ahead to Engstrom. Engstrom steps by a check, flips it to Park, who just dumps it. And it took a funny bounce off the boards, goes into the corner. Robidoux and Engstrom both in after it. Robidoux comes up with it back to Carroll at the point. Carroll goes to Robidoux. Robidoux fanned on the pass, lost the puck, and it's dumped down the ice. Meacham will have to come out and play it. He's got Bunstone. He'll flip it around on the other side. And we're down to 9 seconds in the power play. And the puck bouncing out to center ice, picked up by Mankey's. Mankey stick handles across the blue line. takes it in behind the net. Here's Mankies with it in the corner. At the 45, gets knocked down. The puck bounces free, and it's out to center ice. And the Raiders go 0 for on the power play so far tonight. No score in the hockey game. We're in the second period now as the puck goes around the boards. Mankies to Robidoux. Robidoux flips to Angstrom, who takes it behind the net, trying to circle. Angstrom to the circle. Drops it in front. Mankies can't get the shot off. Goes bouncing back to the blue line. Kept in momentarily by Angstrom. But the Stoners will clear it. They got a man breaking in the zone. And what do we have? We're going to have a penalty on Massena for holding, I believe. Hooking.
Brian Carroll, who put the hook on number 22, Chris Bennett, who had just come out of the penalty box, took a pass in that neutral zone and going down that left side. And Brian Carroll got the stick up underneath the armpits and turned it over. And the Sandstoners are going to go on a power play, and let's see if they can generate a little more offense than the Raiders. They certainly didn't generate much on that last power play. They just, again, I just can't put my finger on it. Maybe they're trying to, they're running into each other, their puck's rolling off their stick, they're waiting a second too long to make the pass, to take the shot. Just looked like, I don't know what on that power play.
Kind of like they're sleepwalking out there. Butler with the puck. Takes it in the corner, setting it up, goes back to the point. Here's a shot. Meacham makes a save, kicks it wide. Puck goes out to the 45. They battle for it there and to the blue line and dumped into the corner. It takes a funny bounce, and Horan will have to pick it up or try to. Butler is there to slide it ahead. Comes to Job, has it knocked away. Clears to the blue line, not out. Here's a shot deflected in behind. Butler circles, and he tries to center it. Where is it? It's in the slot, and it's clear to the blue line, and Job will move it out to center ice. Here's Matt Job with it, into the Potsdam zone, making the move, gets by the D. Here's Job, his shot, save made by Dangerman. Pretty good rush by Matt Job that time as he just stayed with it. Potsdam back the other way now, off the save. Butler at center ice, trying to flip it ahead to the Massena line, has it knocked away as they battle right in front of the penalty boxes. Finally, it's back into the Potsdam zone. Charlebois flips it deep into Massena territory. That's going to be icing against Potsdam, and they'll move the face-off back in their zone.
Excellent rush. Matt Job right up the middle, and he just went right between number 9, James Williams, and number 21, Joe Charlebois, and got a good shot, and Pete Dangerman had to come up big with the save.
Off the face-off, Potsdam controls. It's Bunstone in his own end. Tim Bunstone with it, moves it out, and lost it off the end of his stick, but it's picked up there by Michael Morris. Morris flips to center ice. David Park steps there and dumps it deep. With about 15 seconds left in the man advantage, Morris in behind his own net, flips it over to Adam Cook. Here's Cook with it. He'll go back to Morris. Morris starts to move it ahead, looks for the rink-wide pass, goes by everybody into the Massena zone, but they wave the icing off. And it's picked up by Francia, flips it in the corner. Potsdam's got a man in front, that's Bunstone, but the puck's stolen away by Angstrom. Angstrom starts down ice, flips it out to center ice, trying to get Converse, who is breaking, but it's knocked away. Back the other way come the Sandstoners into the zone. Here's Josh Taylor dropping it. It's poked into the corner by Francia. Picked up there by the Raiders again, Angstrom. Tad will move it back the other way. Here comes Angstrom. He's got Michaud with him. Takes it wide, and on the off wing, trying to get by the defense. Flips it in front. Converse backhand. Saved Dangerman. And Potsdam breaking back the other way. 3-on-2. Here's Adam Cook. He's got Bunstone with him, along with Morris. Drops it to Morris. Morris shot. He fired it wide. Side of the net. Short side shot. And back there is Wood. Puck cleared around the boards. Comes back to the blue line. Morris is back there. He battles for it. Has it knocked away. And it trickles out to center ice. Potsdam with a good opportunity there. They just didn't execute.
I think Matt Meacham got a piece of that Michael Morris shot. Yes,
okay.
I did.
Now the puck comes into the Massena zone. Francia, and he fired it up into the bench of Potsdam, and we'll have a face-off. 10:33 left in the second period. No score in the hockey game on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
And the guy moving the fastest over there on that Potsdam bench when the puck went in there, Mark DeRushy, the assistant coach of the Stoners, and Mark played here. Massena played for Coach Stan Moore. Excellent hockey player.
He scored a lot of goals for Massena. Off the face-off, puck out to center ice. Robbie Whitcup with it, has it poke checked away. Back to the Massena line. Brian Carroll picks it up there. Here's Carroll. Rips it along the boards. Bounces free. Picked up to the blue line, not out of the zone. It's dumped and goes into the corner off Steve Smith's stick. Smith flips it along the boards again to the blue line, but not out. Potsdam controlling. They move it ahead. Finally, Robbie Whitcup comes up with it. Whacks at it. Doesn't clear the zone. Puck in the corner, back to the point to Potsdam. Here's Williams' shot, and the save made by Meacham. Puck in the corner. Stoners again controlling. They move it back to the point. Williams, and he can't come up with it, but he keeps it in the zone nicely as he beat the Massena forward. Stoners putting some pressure on. Now Carroll picks it up, turns it around, looks up ice, circles back, and finally circles back again as Potsdam putting some forechecking pressure on. Finally, he flips it on the wing, comes back to the blue line out to center ice. Raiders, headman, here's Whitcup. Whitcup breaks in, but he lost it off the end of his stick, and it's cleared by Dangerman out to center ice, to the Massena line. Smith is there, flipping it ahead to the Potsdam zone. Intercepted there by Richard Murphy, who takes it across off sides, and will have a face-off.
Probably the best opportunity that the Raiders had, brother Robbie right down in front of us, out-hustled a Stoner defenseman to the puck and just quickly backhanded it up the middle, and breaking behind the other defenseman was his brother Nathan, and if he would have corralled it, he was in from the blue line, but it off his stick into the corner.
Off the face-off, Robidoux line out there, off the draw. It goes bouncing back to the Potsdam zone. Mike Morris is there. He'll flip it on the other side for Charlebois, who moves it ahead to the Massena line. In the zone it goes. Here's Kelleher barging his way through. Bounces in the corner. Robidoux back the other way for Massena. Here's Robidoux building up ahead of steam. Winds up the shot. The save made. The bouncer in front. Cleared in behind. Robidoux after it there. Has it poked away. Bounces to the blue line, and it's dumped down the ice by the Stoners. That'll be icing against Potsdam. Maybe that's what Massena has to do, just come in and take some shots.
Well, they've got to generate looking down. They had 3 in the first period. We'll see what they have unofficially in this second period. Well, they've more than, they almost doubled the total. They've got 5 unofficial shots in this period. Definitely, or I was thinking maybe they let the Stoners get one, get behind them and fire them up.
I'll tell you what,
they got to get some shots, there's no question.
Oh, yeah. Robidoux out there to take the face-off. Off the draw, puck goes in the corner, Bunstone. Bunstone flips it around the boards to Cook, to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's Francia, tees it up, his shot, fired it wide. Puck bounces back to the other point. Horan keeps it in, flips it to Mankies. Mankies takes it from behind, wraparound attempt, bounces in the slot, comes to Joe, backhander, doesn't get through. Bouncing puck, back to the blue line, kept in. Francia trying to flip it through. They battle for it at the blue line, kept in at the point by Job again. Puck goes back into the corner, Zern after it. He's taken out of the play by Mankies. The bouncing puck comes free, and out by the blue line finally is poked out to center ice. Here comes Bunstone. Bunstone stick handles into the Massena zone. Francia poke checks it away in the corner. Stayed with him all the way. Raiders pick it up. Robidoux trying to barge out of there, can't get it. The shot from the blue line, and the save is made by goaltender Meacham, and he'll hold on for the face-off.
Good flurry by that line of Robidoux, Job, and Mankies as Steve Mankies picked up a puck in behind the net, swung around from goaltender Dangerman's right to his left, come right around, wanted to tuck it short side. Dangerman beat him to the post, and Mankies slid it right across the crease and just missed the far post.
Face off in the Massena zone after the shot on net. Off the face off. The puck sits in the circles. They battle for it. Bouncing around. Finally comes free to Engstrom. He moves it ahead to center ice. Knocked away back in the Massena zone. Raiders will clear it. Ahead to Rochford. Knocked away from him. Back comes James Williams. Winds up his shot. Glove save. I don't know if that was headed for the net or not, but Meacham got caught going the wrong way and had to dive and grab it.
Matt Meacham has been the busier of the 2 goaltenders here in this game tonight through almost a period and a half, and that one was a long drifting shot. Might have had that top left-hand corner, but I think Matt was a little bit out of position. That's why he had to come up big with that left hand, just a little bit out of position.
Face off, it'll be Evans out taking the draw. Raiders win, it goes to Steve Smith. Smith on the boards. Rochford has to come back, picks it up. He'll try the other side to Aaron Michaud. Michaud just moves it ahead, out to center ice. Picked up there by James Williams. Williams trying to move it ahead. Stick handles at his own blue line and moves it out to center ice. Right to Rochford, who takes it back across. Has it knocked away at center ice. Flipped to the Massena line. Into the zone it comes. Here's Murphy with it. Murphy trying to barge his way through. He's taken out of the play. The puck trickles through. And holding on is Meacham.
Yes, number 6 coming down that line. Richard Murphy. He and Adam Wood going one-on-one, and Adam Wood won that battle, doing a good job. Again, playing the man and not the puck. And the puck trickled through, and Matt Meacham just said, we'll hold it right here for a face-off. But that's what you want to do. Good job by Adam Wood.
Well, we're halfway through the hockey game. Still no score. Off the face-off, it's Brian Carroll with the puck from behind his own net. Skates ahead and starts to move it. Here's Carroll with it from the red line. Flips it ahead to Rochford. Takes it wide right. Rochford centering pass right across the goal mouth. Bounces back to David Park, who takes it into the corner. Park lost it off the end of his stick. Picked up by Potsdam. That's Joe Charlebois. Joe Charlebois moves it ahead. Headman pass comes to the Massena line. Carroll will go after it. Brian Carroll takes a whack at it, clears it around the boards for Robbie Whitcup. Whitcup backhands it ahead to center ice. Picked up there by Charlebois. Back in the Massena zone. Comes to Carroll. He'll turn it around. Go to David Park. Park moves it. Off the glass, out to center ice to the Potsdam line. Intercepted there. Stoners move it out to center ice. Park gathers it in. Turns it around and drops it to Carroll. Carroll looks up ice. Moves it ahead. Angstrom. Angstrom to Whitcup. Whitcup takes it across. He's knocked down. Bouncing puck out to center ice. Here comes Potsdam in the Massena zone. And a hard check thrown by Carroll. The puck squirts free in the corner. After it there is Josh War. He gets tied up. Now he tries to escape the check. Carroll throwing checks. Angstrom, the whistle blows, and we'll have a face-off.
A little extracurricular activity down in the corner. Brian Carroll along with Marcus Kelleher. Stirring the pot just a little bit. Maybe that's what we need to get the Raiders inspired. And looks like we might get penalties. Matching news at Tad Engstrom. And
that was
and number 2 for the
Josh War. That was they didn't really do much of anything, but they're going to call them both.
They weren't the initial culprits. No. It was Kelleher and Carroll, and then they came late to the party, and I guess they didn't have a ticket to get in.
4-on-4 plus the goaltenders now. 6:08 left in the second period. Still no score on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. Adam Cook coming out to take the face-off for the Soners. He'll face off against Robbie Whitcup in the Massena zone. Off the face-off, Whitcup wins it. Back to Kevin Horan. He moves it along the boards and down the ice. That'll be icing, I believe. No, they wave it off. Somebody touched it on the way by. Now the puck in the Potsdam zone. Picked up James Williams. That's a hit after the whistle. Nathan Whitcup almost stole it away, but Williams gets it free and moves it ahead. He'll dump it out to Bunstone. Timmy Bunstone gathering a head of steam. He can move that puck. Here's Bunstone getting by 1, by 2. Gets a shot off. It's blocked, and the puck goes into the corner. Back to the blue line, and the Raiders move it out. Whitcup ahead to Whitcup. Robbie to Nathan. Nathan steps by the check. Takes it into the Potsdam zone. He gets knocked down, gets back up again, can't get his stick free, and the puck squirts free to James Williams. Williams going to Adam Cook. Moving it long, headman by everybody. And that, well, now they're going to wave icing off there, too. In behind, Francia gets tied up by Bunstone, but Robidoux picks up the puck. Robidoux can't quite catch up with his own pass. Now it's banged out to center ice. Bounces into the Potsdam zone. Menkes gathers it. Gets a shot off. Save made by Dangermond.
Steve Menkes coming off the bench, and the Raiders had just cleared the zone, banged it off the boards in the neutral zone, trickled into the Potsdam zone, and coming off the bench, sneaking in behind the Potsdam defense was number 9, Steve Menkes. He just touched it and one-timed it, but didn't have a good angle. He was probably a little to the left of the dot, to the right of goaltender Pete Dangermond.
Still no score in the hockey game. 4:58 left in the second period. Menkes will take the face-off in the Potsdam zone. Off the draw, Robidoux trying to flip it in the corner. Has it knocked away. Smith pinches in. Can he keep it in? He does. Directs a shot at net. Dangermond just stops it there and leaves it for Michael Morris. Morris in behind the net. Flips it ahead, and the Stoners move it out. Kelleher flips it to the blue line. Out to center ice. He's going to chase it down. Has it knocked away by Menkes. Following up on the play, the Stoners dump it deep in Massena territory. Smith cranks it ahead. Bouncing puck gathered by Menkes. He'll flip for Robidoux. Robidoux trying to bust his way down the left side. Morris gets there first and knocks it away. Now Menkes comes back after it. Has it knocked away at the Massena blue line. Puck bouncing around. Kelleher got a whack at it, but it's cleared out to center ice by Carroll. Dumped right back in the zone. Steve Smith picks it up. Flips it on the wing to the blue line, not out of the zone. Kept in there momentarily. Now it's cleared out to center ice. Comes to Menkes. He's got Job breaking. Job winds up his shot. Save me. Gets a rebound. Scores a goal. Matt Job, and the Raiders go up 1-0.
Shoot the puck, go to the net, pick up a loose puck. Good things happen when you shoot the puck. Raiders on an innocent 2-on-2 Matt Jobe just inside the blue line. Had time. He wound up a 55-footer. Nice low shot. Dangerman made a great save with that right leg. Gave the big rebound. And number 5, I think it was Eric McCluskey, allowed Jobe to continue on. Picked up his rebound. Dangerman's down flat on the ice, and Jobe picked up the rebound and threw it upstairs.
So Matt Jobe gets the first goal for Massena. And I'll tell you, been interesting to say the least. Joe picks up the puck, flips it ahead to Mankies, takes it across. Mankies wide left side, looks to center, but it goes off a leg to the blue line, out to center ice. Back the other way comes Potsdam in the zone. Richard Murphy, and it's swept away by Carroll. Murphy trying to chase it down in the corner. Has it knocked away. Here's a shot, goes in behind the net. Murphy again picks it up, tries to go right in front, but it's knocked away, and Mankies back the other way. Mankies going by one, has it swept away by the Potsdam D. Comes back to the blue line, picked up by Steve Smith. He'll take it in the zone. Smith, quick snap shot is gloved by Dangerman, and he'll hold on for the face-off.
Matt Jobe, his 7th goal of the year, and seeing a light of fire onto this Raider club. That coming at the 11-minute mark of the second period. Steve Mankies and Brian Carroll picking up the assist. Carroll up the Mankies in the neutral zone, and he just kind of a backhanded touch pass to Jobe, who fired a long one and picked up his own rebound with Dangerman lying flat on the ice.
So the Raiders have taken the lead here, 1-0. Off the face-off, puck comes to David Park in the corner. He'll chase it in the corner, battle for it there, and coming back to pick it up is Adam Cook. Cook takes it in behind, throws it in the corner. After it there is Michaud. Michaud can't quite come up with it. They battle in the corner. Now Rochford throws a check. The puck squirts free to Cook, and he'll move it out to center ice. Here's Adam Cook for Potsdam. Just flips it ahead to the Massena line. Picked up there by Kevin Horan. Horan circles back the other way. Here's Horan lugging it out to center ice. Fanned on the clearing pass and follows it himself. Now he'll go on the wing, but it's too much for Michaud. Dump back the other way. Now we're going to have a foot race. Bunstone picks it up. Here's Bunstone, takes it in the corner. Gets knocked down. The puck bounces free. A good play made there. Massena got back just in time. Now the puck along the boards. Park battles for it. We got a whistle. We got a slashing behind the play. Didn't even see it.
Oh, he's calling on that same play on the rush when young Brian Horn is going to get the penalty. Kevin Horn, excuse me. Just a great hustle back by Kevin Horn and by number 23, Paul Rochford. Rochford dove on his belly to cut the angle off, and then Kevin Horn, as he was checking him, went for the puck, and I guess referee Wayne Umel is calling for a slashing. I didn't see the slash, but
flashing the call, and so the Potsdam Sandstoners will go on the power play. Off the face-off, puck out by the blue line, poke checked out to center ice. Here comes Angstrom with it. Angstrom just looking to waste a little time, gets a shot on, and Dangerman leaves it side of the net for Williams. Williams picking up the loose puck, he'll start it. Flips it ahead, goes to Michael Morris. Morris, long headman pass by everybody. Francia cranks it up and dumps it right back down the ice. Dangerman leaves it in behind for Williams again. Williams flips it back to Morris. Michael picking up the puck, looking, circles. Flips it ahead to Williams. Williams goes on the wing and out to center ice. That's Marcus Kelleher. He flips long, rink-wide pass to Scott Butler. Butler takes it wide in the corner, gets tied up, and Angstrom picks it up and dumps it down the ice. Stopped by Dangermond again. Raiders making some penalty-killing changes out to center ice. It's Mankies with it. He just rags it for a minute, then flips it ahead. Stoners back the other way. Butler to Morris. Morris flips it in the Massena zone, and it's dumped right back down the ice by the Massena defenseman, Ian Francia. And he'll get off the ice, and Park will come on. Potsdam breaking back the other way. James Williams again has it stolen away by Robidoux. Robidoux lost it off the end of his stick to Williams. Feeds it in front. Here's Butler, but he gets tied up by Carroll. Can't get a shot off. Carroll ties. He lost his stick apparently. Looks to tie it up in the corner, and the whistle blows. And, no, I guess he still has his stick. Looked like he had lost it, but with 7 seconds left in the man advantage, we'll have a face-off in the Massena zone.
Had Robidoux a little careless in that neutral zone and had his pockets picked and almost sent the Stoner player in alone. Just prior to that, a classic way to work as a tandem. Stevie Smith in the corner just flattened, I think it was Scott Butler, and jumped on the number 6 for the Raiders. Tad Engstrom picked up the loose puck and fired it down the ice, just the way you're supposed to do it.
Robidoux will take the face-off against Adam Cook. 1-0 Raiders lead on a Matt Jobe goal. Raiders win the faceoff. Jobe in the corner, gets tied up. Puck bounces around behind. They flip it on the 45. Penalty as he lapsed. Puck comes bouncing back to the blue line. Robidoux whacks at it and clears it ahead to Jobe, busting down the right wing side. Jobe takes it across, gets knocked down, and the puck comes bouncing free to center ice. Picked up by David Park, bangs it for Robidoux. Big Matt takes it across. He's got some skating, winds up. The big drive and the rebound. Jobe couldn't get to that one, but he was looking for it. Comes out by the blue line, but Potsdam will clear. Here comes the Stoners into the Massena zone as they move it and dump it in behind the net. Mankeys will pick it up there. Mankeys flips it ahead for Robidoux. Robidoux leaves it instead for Jobe, who moves it out. Now he goes ahead to Robidoux. Robidoux after it, takes it across. Here's Robidoux in the corner. He's bodied off the puck, gets it right in front of the net, and Jobe couldn't get a stick on it again. He was going bouncing through the middle there. Comes to Mankeys. Mankeys to Robidoux. Robidoux has it knocked away. Bouncing puck comes to Mankeys. Mankeys takes the side of the net. It's clear to the blue line. Carroll pinches in and keeps it in as the buzzer sounds. Wow. The last few minutes of that period went quickly, and the Raiders score the only goal of the second period and lead after 2 on a score of 1 to Carroll for Massena off the boards and deep in Potsdam territory. Puck goes around the boards into the corner. Robidoux flips it back in behind for Jobe, but he can't come up with it. Bunstone does. Flips it off the glass down the ice, and that'll be icing against Potsdam.
And the Stoners defending the goal to our right, which is the west goal here in the Massena Arena. And the Stoners wearing their traveling blue trimmed with white and orange, with the Potsdam across the front with the orange and white letters. Blue helmets, blue pants with the white piping, blue socks with orange and white piping.
Mankeys will take the draw now. Off the face-off, Robidoux is shot. He fired it wide. Back to Park at the point. He dumps it off the glass. Takes, well, apparently made it up off the ice surface, I guess. As, yeah, it hit the wall of the building there, the minor hockey building, came back out on the ice. So they'll move the face-off outside the zone.
David Park, who another strong games, had an outstanding year back on the blue line for the Raiders. Just a super job. One of the co-captains of the Raider hockey team.
Off the face-off, puck bounces by him into the Massena zone. He'll race back after it, pick it up, and rip it around the boards. Stepping in front of it, Josh Taylor. Taylor taken into the boards, trying to get the shot off. It bounces in behind to Robidoux, and he'll start it out. Here's Robidoux, lost his edge, flips it ahead, has it knocked back again, and comes up with it, lost his edge again. Finally gets up and starts out. Here's Robidoux, taking it, poke checked away, back to the Massena line. Steve Smith is there. He'll move it ahead, take it across, bouncing puck, nobody wants it. Now back the other way comes Marcus Kelleher. He'll dump it, and Meacham stops that one from long range. Comes to Carroll, who bangs it out to center ice, goes by everybody and trickles back into the Potsdam zone. Cameron Brown after it. He'll flip it to Michael Morris. Morris will start it out. Long headman pass, goes by everybody back in the Massena zone. Picked up by Smith. Smith kind of overskates, has to come back after it in the corner. He'll dump it in behind for Adam Wood. Wood rips it along the boards to Mankeys. Mankeys bangs it, not out of the zone. Here's a quick shot, goes off a leg, and Engstrom comes back after it. Here's Engstrom, Tad with the puck in behind his own net, looks up ice. Headman pass doesn't clear. Here's the shot. Meacham has to glove it and hold on for the faceoff. Raiders golden opportunities to clear the zone and didn't that time.
Well, again, and when you come diagonal on your own end and you telegraph, you tell the world that's where you're going to do what you're going to do. And that time the left weak side defenseman, number 9, James Williams, just read it, and he stepped down and intercepted the puck just inside the blue line, and
only had to take about one step.
One step, and cranked one in there.
Face-off in the zone. Raiders trying to control it. Kelleher won the face-off, tried to barge his way through. Here's a shot from the point, knocked down, bounces in the slot, shot, save. Meacham, the puck still free, cleared into the corner. Raiders move it back to the blue line and out to center ice. Oh boy, that was very, very close to being a tie game. Puck back in the Massena zone, and offsides will be the call. I think Kelleher was ahead of the play that time.
And Kelleher is the guy that could have tied this thing up. Marcus Kelleher, number 11, not very big, 5'7", 140 sophomore. He picked up the puck through a scramble to the right of Matt Meacham, went across the right across the middle on his backhand and had Meacham down. If he could have got it up, might have tied this hockey game.
Off the faceoff, Raiders control. Kevin Horan with it, circles back in his own end. Goes on the other side, gets it back again, and bangs it to center ice. Engstrom Angstrom back into his own end, starts to move it out. Off the boards. Ahead it goes to Michaud. Michaud to Rochefort. Rochefort takes it to Angstrom. Angstrom steps in front to Rochefort. Backhand right on. The save made. And the rebound goes into the corner. Rochefort after it. He'll dump it in behind for Michaud. Michaud stick handles along the boards. Takes it and flips it to Rochefort. Rochefort trying to dump it into Angstrom, but it's in behind the net off a leg. And the puck cleared around the boards to the blue line. Francia keeps it in. He shovels one right at net, and Dangerman's going to glove and hold on for the face-off on the knuckleball.
That was I was going to call it an infield fly on that one because Ian Francia under a little bit of pressure as the Potsdam forwards came out to check him, so he wanted just to get rid of the puck and try to get it on net, and he just flipped it up. A nice little soft pop-up in there that goaltender Dangerman had no problem gloving and face-off to the left of Pete Dangerman.
Now it's going to be Robbie Whitcup out there against Adam Cook. Off the face-off, puck goes in the corner. Picked up by the Potsdam D, that's Michael Morris, flips it around the boards. Park pinches in, he's got it. Trying to center, but it's knocked away, and Potsdam's going to break it out. Here come the Sandstoners. Josh Taylor takes it across. Drop pass, Bunstone. His shot, save made. I don't think Meacham saw it, but it bounced off him. It bounces in front. Cleared black to the blue line. Here's a shot through traffic. Knocked in behind the net. Again, Taylor trying to center it up. He has it taken away by Horan, who kicks it ahead, and Matt Brown will move it out to center ice. Great opportunity for Potsdam. Brown trying to barge by the defenseman. He's taken out of the play by Charlebois. The puck in the corner. Now Brown throws a check. Comes to Nathan Whitcup. Moves it out to the blue line. Kept in momentarily by Smith. Now it's out to center ice. Bunstone gathers it in. Takes it across, rushing with Morris. His shot, he fired it wide. Puck in the corner. Steve Smith with it. Trying to move it along the boards. Taken away. Here's a chance in front for Bunstone. Centering pass goes all the way back down the ice and into the Potsdam zone. Somebody had been going toward the net. That would have been interesting. Now the puck out at neutral ice. Bounces to the Massena line. Picked up by Steve Smith. Smith flips it ahead. Doesn't clear the zone. Morris steps in front. Here's Morris trying to center it. Smith comes back to block it. Bangs it ahead to the blue line. Kept in at the point. Still in the zone. They battle for it. Finally, it's out to center ice. Bounces by everybody and down into the Potsdam zone. Neither team can catch a pass here.
Boy, I'll tell you, they missed an offside right there, Jerry. That came out. Good thing Potsdam didn't score.
Now the puck dumped down the ice into the Massena zone. After it is Adam Wood. He gathers it in. Looks on the wing for Job. Job looks. Back to Wood. Wood's head man to Robidoux too far. And back comes Potsdam across the blue line. Here's the shot. Meacham makes the save. Puck goes off his stick into the corner. In behind the net, Robidoux. Robidoux moves it ahead, has to circle back. He'll drop it back in behind for Wood again. Wood will try the right side. Ahead to Job. Job looks up ice, just manages to clear the zone. Dumped right back into the Massena zone. Wood after it, clears it ahead, dumped right back in. Puck goes in behind the net, and Horan will pick it up as the Stoners will change. Here comes Kevin Horan out to center ice. No, he didn't, but now Job clears it out back in again. Offsides will be called on Potsdam.
Two of the best scoring opportunities coming in this third period. Both belong to the Stoners. One we already described, Marcus Kelleher. And then just a few moments ago, Timmy Bunstone down that left side. Nice drop pass to Josh Taylor, who cranked one up through traffic. You call it. I don't think Matt Meacham ever saw the puck, but he was in the right spot and it hit him. Came up with a big, big save, or we would have had a tie hockey game.
Angstrom out there to take the face-off. He tips it into the Potsdam zone. Back after it there is Nick Zern. Zern gathers it in behind his net, stops, moves it ahead, has it knocked away, bounces along the boards. Angstrom in there battling for it, trying to flip it to Rochefort. A bouncing puck, Rochefort looks to center. He gets tied up. In behind the net it goes McCluskey. He'll flip it on the other side. Aaron Michaud after it. He rounds the boards back to the blue line. Francia bangs it right back in the corner for Michaud. Feeds in front. Angstrom shot. Save made. Rebound to the blue line. Kept in by Wood. Wood steps it into the corner, winds up and takes a whack at a great chance for Angstrom, and a good save made by Peter Dangerman. Now the Potsdam Stoners clear it down the ice, bounces by everybody into the Massena zone. There's a race for it in the corner. Trying to come up with it is Chris Bennett. He flips it into the corner as they move it around the horn. Potsdam controls to the blue line, not out of the zone. Here's the shot. Meacham makes the save. Rebound. Clear to the blue line and out to center ice. Here's the headman right on the stick of Rochefort. Busting in right wing side. Winds up, fakes the shot. Here's the shot in front. Shot. Score! score! Aaron Michaud gets the goal. What a play by Captain Paul Rochford. What a play.
Well, I'll tell you, those two guys hooked up with one of the prettiest goals you'll ever see last Friday night, and this was a great effort by both of these guys. Michaud finishing it off, but Rochefort down that right side. It all started when Potsdam again had a good opportunity down here, but Michaud got a hold of the puck, carried it out of the zone, hit number 23 down that right side. He's going down strong, looks like he's going to take a shot. He stops on a dime, fakes a shot, waits till the defenseman crosses by him. On the other side, Michaud, I don't know where he got the energy, but he went to the net like a gangbuster, and 23 threw it across the crease, and 11 was there to rebound it, to re-tip it by the goaltender. Just a great goal and a big goal for the Raiders.
That was a very pretty goal, I'll tell you what. Rochford just did yeoman's work on that goal. What a play. Off the face-off, puck in the zone, still in the zone, kept in there. Nathan Whitcup with it. Whitcup has it poked away. It's going to come to Brown. Brown backhands it in front of the net. They battle for it. It goes into the corner. Now it's Nathan Whitcup with it. He's got Robbie free. Can he get it to him? Goes back to the point. Carroll can't keep it in. Well, he did, but it's a delay offsides. I guess he didn't keep it in. Here comes Robbie Whitcup with it. Has it knocked away. Brother Nathan picks it up, takes it across. Nathan goes to Brown. Brown's got some room, gets a shot off. Dangerman makes the save. Puck in the corner again. Robbie Whitcup can't come up with it. It comes to Adam Cook. He'll come back the other way and just dump it into the Massena zone. Kevin Horan after it. Here's Horan, overskates it in the corner, lost his edge. Bunstone picks it up, hit the side of the net with it. Raiders try to clear the zone, they don't. Puck goes into the corner. Horan after it again. He and Bunstone battle behind the net. And the puck squirts free. There's still a battle in the corner. Coming in to help out Menkes. It squirts free again. Menkes takes a whack at it. Horan comes out of the fray, comes up with it. Great second effort. He takes it out to center ice. Bouncing puck, comes to the Massena line. Right back in the zone it goes. This time it's Butler. Butler in on Carroll. Gets a shot off. And it was wide, or else Meacham made a save. Puck bounces to Butler. He tries to center it. Carroll picks it up side of the net. Here's Brian Carroll with it, circling. Here's Carroll. He'll take it behind the net. Almost ran into Mel Tomelty. The official, Wayne Humel. Thank you, Coach. Now the puck bouncing out in the neutral zone. Comes to Robidoux. Big Robidoux with it. Gathers up the head of steam. Matt Robidoux takes it wide. Centering pass right in front. It's knocked down by the Potsdam D. In the corner it goes. Picked up by Menkes. He's got Robidoux in front. Can't get it to him as he's too well tied up. Puck comes back to Smith at the point. He bangs at it. Took a funny bounce out to center ice. Bodies flying around now. Comes to Matt Jobe. Raiders lead 2-0. To Robidoux, intercepted. Bouncing puck at center ice, picked up by Jobe again. He'll flip it ahead to Robidoux. He's got Menkes with him. Robidoux to Menkes in front. Menkes trying to go to Jobe. It goes wide into the corner. There's a battle for it. Bounces free, and the Stoners will move it back the other way, and down the ice it goes. It's going to come right in on Meacham. And what's the whistle for? They're going to call a penalty behind the play. Matt Jobe is going to get the gate for roughing. I didn't even see it, Coach.
That second Massena goal give them a little bit of breathing room. Aaron Michaud is third of the year. Paul Rochefort and Adam Wood picking up the assist. Big goal and a pretty goal, and I can't comment because I didn't see it either. I didn't see the penalty, Jerry.
Happened behind the play. The puck had gone down the ice. And so the Raiders pick up a penalty behind them, but that's not a good penalty to take.
No, that goes in the category of bad penalty. Behind the play, leading 2-0 late in the hockey game, and you're just going to call it roughing.
6:24 left off the faceoff. Puck comes back to the blue line. Morris with it. He'll flip it on the 45. Gets it back again at the point. Lost it. Here come the Raiders. Angstrom, he's got Rochford with him. Angstrom feeds to Rochford all by himself in front. Shot, save made, Dangerman. Oh, boy. Great opportunity for Paul Rochford, and I think he just waited a little bit too long and didn't decide what he was going to do until too late.
Oh, just a great play by Tad Engstrom and Paul Rochford as Tad Engstrom stripped Michael Morris on the right point, chipped it by him. Away they went, 2-on-1, pulled the defenseman. Great pass over to Rochford, but didn't get the puck up. He had to get it up.
Off the face-off, Rochford, or I should say Engstrom in the corner battles for it, but Morris wins this battle and skates it ahead. Long headman pass. He's got his man on the wing. Into the zone it goes. That's Josh Taylor. Taylor taken out of the play. He gets back up and gets it again. Here's Taylor with it. Flips it around the boards. Comes back to Morris at the blue line. Moves it into Taylor. Battling away. It goes into the corner. Steve Smith after it. Takes a whack at it. Looks to tie it up in the corner. Taylor's there. And they do tie it up, and we'll have a face-off with 46 seconds left in the man advantage. The puck in the Massena zone. 5:40 left in the third period. Raiders lead it 2-0 on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
And the Raiders 5 minutes and 40 seconds away from moving into first place, pending the outcome of the OFA Thousand Islands game tonight down at TI. But this one's far from over. Sandstoners still on this power play.
Face-off will be in the Massena zone. Robidoux comes out over the boards now. He'll be out there with Mankies, Carroll, and Ian Francia. And Marcus Kelleher will take the face-off for Potsdam off the draw. Sandstoners win it back to the point. Morris flips it on the 45. Here's the shot, and the save is made. Puck goes in the corner. Puck clear to the blue line, and Robidoux looks to keep it in the zone. He could get it out of the zone, I should say. He couldn't. Comes to the Raiders in the corner. And it squirts free along the boards, and it's Morris. Steps to the circle. Here's an opportunity for Butler. Centers it in front. The shot saved. Meacham, and a big one on Kelleher.
Oh, outstanding save. Matt Meacham has the Raiders just
How many times did they have a chance to clear
Matt
that zone?
Robidoux, I don't know. He's floating around out there. Coach is going to get a change, I'm sure. But you can't check with your stick. You check with your legs. He tried to check the Potsdam player with his stick, and he just shoved him off. A great diagonal pass, and all alone on the right side. Great save by Matt Meacham.
Face-off in the Massena zone. Puck in the circle. Robidoux after it. Can't clear the zone. They battle for it there. Steve Smith, he takes a whack at it. It's still in the zone. Smith gets it back again, turns it around. Lost it off the end of his stick, flips it ahead, doesn't clear the zone. Penalty as he lapsed. Puck in behind the net. It comes into the corner to Kelleher, back to the point, and out to center ice. Job, he's going to have a break. Here comes Job. He's got a man back. Job shot, score! Matt Job gets his second goal of the game, and the Raiders go up 3-0 after they kill off the Potsdam power play.
Won't go as a short-handed goal, but coming just after the Raiders had killed off a penalty, and Potsdam coming with an eyelash of cutting that deficit to 2-1, but a great save by Matt Meacham. And then again, the same Potsdam player was victimized on the blue line, and Matt Job tipped it by him down that left side, and I'll tell you, he didn't make any mistake as he blew the back of the net out, beat Dangerman high up over the left shoulder.
So Matt Job gets his second goal of the game. He was the guy that was penalized, Coach. He came out of the penalty box and gets the goal for Massena. Puck in the Potsdam zone now as they flip it around the boards. Into the corner it goes. They bounce it out to center ice. Comes to Horan. Horan bangs it off the boards, back in the zone. Stop side of the net by the Stoners. McCluskey flips to the blue line, kept in by the Massena Red Raiders. Here's Robbie Whitcup in front, gets a shot off save, and a good one by Dangerman. A good second effort by Whitcup. Puck along the boards into the corner. They move it to the center ice. Nope, they didn't quite clear the zone as the Raiders keep it in again. Raiders lead at 3-0 here. We're in the third period. Steve Smith pinches in, throws a check, and flips the puck in behind the net as the Raiders putting some pressure on. Brown has it knocked away, and it comes around the boards. Smith throws another check. The bouncing puck still in the zone comes to Brown. And now there's pushing and shoving. And are they going to call Smith too? I don't see how they could. He didn't do anything.
I'll tell you, I don't think he did.
Well, he gave the initial check.
I don't know if he gave the initial. I think Chris Bennett gave the initial check. He flattened Steve Smith. Steve Smith's usually on the giving end.
What I meant to say, he took the initial check. Is what I meant to say. Yeah.
Chris Bennett just flattened him just inside the blue line. Stevie's usually on the. And when they both got up, Chris Bennett got an extra little shot in, and that's what he's getting called for. But just a good, solid check by Chris Bennett, and Stevie Smith is not used to being on the receiving end.
Well, that's good every once in a while to keep you honest.
You've got to be able to receive as well as give.
And he did not, no extracurricular.
Exactly.
And so the Raiders will go on a power play here, and Potsdam, I think, is going to call a timeout.
And that's what, the coaching staff loved to see. It was a good, hard check, and both players got up, and it didn't look like anything else was going to happen, but Chris Bennett evidently only had given 98 cents worth, and he wanted to put the other 2 cents in, and when he stuck his hand in Stevie Smith's face, that's when he got the penalty.
Let's see. Was his father like that?
His father was tough. I'll tell you. He wasn't as big as Chris, but he was strong. I'll tell you. That's and as you know, he's used to slinging. He's a vet and slinging horses and
that's right.
Shoeing horses and moving cattle around in those pens. So you have to be stocky. Well, Chris has probably got maybe about 3-4 inches on Gary, but. I don't know. Even today, I wouldn't want to bet against Gary.
3:38 remaining in the third period on the Corky's Collision scoreboard. The Raiders lead it on a score of 3-0. Our broadcast on WMSA brought to you in part by Seaway Orthopedics, located on Outer Andrew Street in Massena. Also by Tom Sullivan and the gang at Sullivan's Office Supply. Sullivan's located in Massena. Coca-Cola and Powerade by the members of Seacom Federal Credit Union. Massena Building Supply, also Reynolds Metals, and by Massena Optics. So the Raiders go on the power play here. They're 0 for 2 on the power play this evening. Off the face-off, David Park trying to flip it through the middle, gets it right back again. Winds up, this time he gets a shot off. It goes to Robidoux off a skate to Mankies. Mankies tried to stop it, gathers it in. Didn't get a shot off, though. It's taken away by Bunstone. Now Mankies is going to pick up a penalty. As Bunstone went down, and Mankies, his stick was right there, so he'll get a tripping call.
And he's lucky if he doesn't pick up another unsportsmanlike conduct, because after he saw the penalty coming, he ran the puck hard against the boards and went into referee Wayne Humel, and he's lucky that he could have easily picked up another minor, Jerry, or a misconduct.
So that'll even things up, 4-on-4 plus the goaltenders for the next minute 15. And then Potsdam will have a 15-second power play.
And defending the call, it was a good call. He upended the Potsdam player, and especially when you're on the power play and the puck is in the Potsdam end, it's not the wrong time to do that.
Off the face-off, Potsdam lost it at center ice. Raiders trying to move it ahead. Comes to David Park, steps by the check. Here's Park. He'll take it across. He tries to center it. It's knocked down by the Potsdam D, James Williams. Williams moves it from behind his own net and flips it ahead. Michael Morris. Morris, long headman pass. He's got a man breaking. Winds up the shot save Meacham. Park with a puck in behind. Goes to Angstrom with it. Angstrom starts up the other way. Looking to clear. Doesn't do it. Williams made a great play to block that pass. Otherwise, Paul Rochford might have been gone. Puck in the zone right across the goal mouth. Bunstone picks it up. He'll flip it in the corner. Picked up by David Park. Skates it ahead and overskates it. Has to drop it in the corners. He gets tied up. Puck bounces free. Rochford, he'll just bang it off the boards and out to center ice. Picked up by Mike Morris. 2.5 left in the third period. Raiders lead 3-0. And Angstrom steals it. Inside goes by one. Trying to go to Rochford. And Morris is going to get called for the penalty. Michael had no choice but to grab Tad. Otherwise, Tad would have been in all by himself.
Tad Engstrom just tipped it by Michael Morris, and Michael's had a little last 5 minutes kind of rough. He got
victimized
by Matt Job a little while ago, and he's still probably upset by that. And as Tad Engstrom was stepping around him, he just put the clutch on him and hauled him down. So
it could have maybe saved a goal, perhaps.
Yes, definitely. He could have maybe saved a goal. And the Sandstoners, trailing by 3 with 2:21, are in a deep hole right now.
That's going to go to Michael for holding, as you said?
Holding.
Yeah, holding. Raiders will, or the Stoners rather, will clear it down the ice. Raiders back on the power play again, briefly. And they move it ahead. Out to center ice, Robidoux with it. As Potsdam gets one back, and we're going to be 4-on-4 here briefly. Now Robidoux circles around the boards, takes it and drops it for Angstrom. Angstrom trying to tip it by, gets it back out by the blue line, Robidoux. Robidoux to the blue line, he pokes it out as Mankey steps out of the penalty box, and he'll dump it inside Potsdam territory. Stoners try to move it ahead. Here comes Potsdam. Long headman goes by everybody and down the ice. And Meacham will come out to play it. He flips it ahead for Carroll. Carroll skates with 1.5 minutes to Robidoux. Robidoux trying to barge his way by right side. Here's Robidoux. He's got Menkes. Drops it instead to Angstrom. Angstrom circles into the corner. Cross ice pass gets knocked down, and out to center ice it comes. Here's Carroll with it. With about 1:15 left in the third period. Puck in behind. Of course, having a 3-goal lead as opposed to a 1-goal lead makes a big difference, doesn't it, Coach?
Oh, it certainly does.
This could have been nail-biting time, but it isn't. The Raiders, and we have a whistle. I think we got a man in the crease or an interference call.
We're going to get a penalty here. Yep.
And anyway, we're down to 1:01 left in the third period. 10 seconds left on the Potsdam penalty, and I think, who's it going to be on, Robidoux?
Well, he tried to... He was holding back, hoping someone else would go to the go to the penalty box, but George Dobbins said, "Oh no, 22, you're the guy I want. Come on, you can hide in the back of the room, but I still see you back there."
Only hide for so long. Is that what you're telling me,
Coach?
Coach?
Get up there.
Okay, 1:01 left in the third period, so we'll be 10 seconds of 4-on-4. Then the Stoners will go on the power play.
Question now, and I'm sure the coaching staff's mentioned, let's get that shutout for Matt Meacham because he's had a great game here tonight.
Yeah, again, key saves.
Yeah, quiet game, but key saves at the right time, you bet.
Off the draw. Puck poke checked, bounces around. They battle for it along the boards. They battle for it along the boards. Finally, it's free. Into the zone it goes. Bouncing puck. That's Chris Levine who gets knocked down. And that was Adam Cook that had the clutch on him, but the Stoners come back the other way. Headman pass. Here comes Bunstone. Candles gets a shot on the save made by Meacham. Bunstone centers it back toward the blue line. Here's a shot. Meacham makes a save and covers up. I'll tell you what, they're not going to make it easy for him, Coach.
And Chris Levine getting his first shift out there, and he's going to get a penalty because he just obliterated Timmy Bunstone in front of the net. He's going to get a... I don't know, maybe they're both going to get a cross-checking.
Yeah, so the Raiders are going to be down 2 men now.
2 men out, so big pile-up in front of that net, and Chris Levine just said, hey.
Well, after the whistle.
Well, he was making sure that they weren't going to get, pick up that rebound and break that shutout. He put the Potsdam player on his backside, but did it illegally, and 31 seconds left. Raiders going to be down 2 men. And I don't think there's enough time for the Stoners to come back and tie this. But again, you
never know.
Trying to keep that shutout intact.
Off the faceoff, Angstrom wins Rochford wins the draw to Angstrom. Angstrom trying to move it ahead. He's got it. Angstrom clears the zone, barely, but he does. About 23 seconds left. Potsdam back the other way. Here come the Stoners in the zone. That's Butler, and he made the move at the blue line, but he put Bunstone offsides. Nice move, but unfortunately, they were all breaking in there, and Bunstone was offsides.
And you can see who Coach Latham's got out there with 2 men short.
Certainly.
Big David Park, and he's got the 2 Super Nats, 6 and 23 out there. And boy, do they do a super job. Pat Angstrom and Paul Rochford.
Rochford, I'll tell you what, the play he made, to me, that was the game right there.
That was a great pass.
And that was the second goal, and that's the goal that really made the difference, I think. Here's Angstrom in his own zone. He bangs it down the ice with 9 seconds left. And I'll tell you what, it's going to take a Herculean effort, as they say, by Potsdam if they want to break this shutout. 2 seconds, 1, that'll take care of it. The buzzer sounds, and the Raiders get a 3-0 lead. And considering the fact that they sleepwalked through the first half of the game, they'll take the win.